Welcome back. This is Health Matters with me, Dishen Kumar. Today's topic is nursing, and with me today is Miss Tracy Krog, who is a very experienced nurse. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's start off with your own personal journey. Why did you become a nurse?
I think I still remember when I was after Form 5, and I have to look after my mom in a hospital. And it was after surgery, and I supposed to give a call, items called bedpan, and I didn't know how to go about it. So I think if I look at back, that probably the start of my journey has want to be a nurse. And the rest of history, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
But what amazed me during that time is how the nurse have come to me and say that it is okay, because basically I didn't know how to handle the bedpan, and the whole bed was wet. And without much say or scolding, they actually cleaned up my mother well. So I really, from there, I think it really inspired me to be a nurse too.
Okay. Let's move on. In your own experience being a nurse, what do you think is one of the biggest challenges that you faced, and what do you think is one of the biggest challenges that nurses every day still face until today?
I think different generations of nursing, I think they have different type of challenges, you know. But being a nurse, we always been adaptive. We always been trying our best to leverage on what we have and so on. The challenges is definitely from during my generation is always think that we are handmaiden for the doctors. And of course, to now looking at the young generations, could be lesser of that challenges, but more of the workload that they are facing in terms of technologies that is coming here now, and also in the healthcare, the advance in healthcare, and how to cope on together with their basic nursing care.
Okay.
Also.
Talking about that, technology is facing, like talking about digitalization of all records. When you were a nurse, there was no like digital platform for records and things like that. So, how can experienced nurses like yourself try to go into this digitalization? Is it difficult? Was it a challenge for you?
It was a challenge. I still seeing some nurses. They can still enter what data is needed for medical record, but nevertheless, they do take time. As I said, being a nurse, we always say that we are very adaptive. We will find a ways to learn, and definitely in hospital we have trainings for them, and they attend it and able to overcome it by practicing every day. And if you have 6 patients per day, I think it's quite good enough practice on hand to overcome that.
Okay, now when you became a nurse, you're a young nurse going into. We talked this earlier in the earlier interviews about new nurses, young nurses coming into the medical industry. How difficult it is to get that skill and everything you need to learn fast because you're with patients every day. How difficult was it for you? And did you think that you need to have a type of mental toughness to yourself to try to learn all these new skills in a very short amount of time?
I think we'd have to, in a sense that, but nevertheless, in the School of Nursing, they would have given that sort of soft skill that we have to have, because during our trainings time, they already have given that you have a lot of challenges. You face doctors, you face patients, you face visitors that comes in, and also how you juggle your times and so on. So those new nurses that joining to the working force, that already been halfway, I would say, adapt already. It's just that probably the new hospital they went is a new environment that they have to learn. So adaptation is ongoing, I would say so. So even for me now, as a experienced nurse, is still adapting.
Okay. You always learn something new every day, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on into you've had all these years of experience. What would be your best and your worst memory being a nurse?
There's actually a lot of it, but to boil down it, I'm a critical care nurse. So definitely when I have a patient in front of me and that we manage to resuscitate the patient back from near death to back to life, I think that is the most rewarding that we can, we'll be smiling all the way, go home and that we did something good. But on the other hand, the worst memory is definitely when we lose one patient, that we try all means, and if the patient that we've been take care for so many days or so many months, we still have a little bit of attachment there, I feel sadness about it. But over the years, I think nurses will have developed the professional, emotional stability to have that how to manage this kind of situations.
Now, talking about that is very interesting because you nurses are the ones that are with the patient. Nurses are the ones that are constantly with the patient. You see death almost every day. Do you think that there needs to be this mental toughness in nurses for them to be able to, because you're professionals, yes, but you still get attached to some patients. It's human nature. You can't be completely not attached to any patient. So do you think that requires a lot of mental toughness?
Yeah, that's why they always say nurse is always different, especially, yeah. I think over the years that we're working and the experience they have, of course, as a very junior trainees, there will be a fear. But definitely the support from surrounding, the nurses that surrounding, the seniors, and also the supervisors and the superior will come into them and counsel them and give that moral support. And that actually really helps. I still remember when I have my first patient, I even have my senior to come to me, and just one word, it's not your fault. That's all matter. It's all say that you did your best, we did our best, And another memories that we have, sometimes the patient that we hardly remember, but the occasion come to you. Do you remember me? That you have nursed me before?
Yeah.
I was quite bad. My foot was almost to amputate, and you helped me. And that's where I think those kind of
the
good
patient
memories.
actually remembers you.
Yeah, and we don't remember
you don't, because there's
which
so many
patient.
patients. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So those are the sweet memories that I think any nurses will cherish. It's more than any in terms of reward, in terms of promotion, and so on.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about maybe your experienced nurse now. You have all these young nurses coming in.
Yeah.
Based on your own opinion, do you see a very different type of tactics need to be used to teach the younger generation compared to how you were taught and things like that?
I think caring is still the essence of nursing. I believe it that when you care for somebody, it have to be shown, and that person, when it felt cared, and it will automatically care back. That is how I feel. When I was as the head of school for School of Nursing, I always seen some student who comes in and say that this was not their choice, this was parent choice, and so on. But what my advice to them is fall in love with nursing, and you will see what you will get. So true enough, some of my students who have graduated and now working in Saudi, unfortunately. So they were telling me that these are the words that really inspired them. At that point of time, they did not seize it, and as of now, that would be my advice for the one.
Okay, and what do you think about anything you have to say about all these youngsters who think that nursing is not for them, or they don't see nursing as a career choice? What would you say to people like that?
What would I say is that nursing is definitely for someone who, I would say, you never know yourself until you be a nurse. So I think is for the young generation, they really have to look beyond what reward first, but more looking into if you care for people, eventually you'll be kept. That's kind of a tagline for the young people.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for your time.
No problem, Dan.
And thank you for watching. This has been Health Matters with me, Dishen Kumar. We talked a lot about nursing today, and if you're watching this, I hope you have a very different perspective on nurses and how important they are in the medical industry. So join me in the next episode. This is Health Matters with me, Dishen Kumar. Thank you. Goodbye.